and I'm honored to partner with you in your child's special education journey. Um, as a special education teacher, I believe strongly that every child has the ability and the potential to learn inside the public school system, if that is, every parent's choice. Today, I'll briefly walk you through the history of special education law in the United States and highlight a couple court cases, um, anything that helps shape students and parents' rights in our special education system. I'll try and share some trusted resources, including some here from my home state in Washington, and hopefully help you stay informed and empowered. My goal is to communicate with honesty, compassion, and respect. And I honestly feel that every parent's voice should matter, especially when it comes to their students' education, regardless whether they have disabilities or not. Around the 1970s, most students were denied access to public school if they had a disability. Many families experience hardships, exclusion, limited access to services, and they basically just had to fight, like pulling teeth when it came to getting their child with disabilities any type of education or services. This all began to change with two important cases. One was Park versus Pennsylvania. I believe a few parents got together. They had their children had disabilities, and they felt as though the educational system was just not doing what it needed to do for their children. With this law, this helped rule that children with disabilities or intellectual issues could not be denied any type of public education. Um, Mills versus Board with Education in 1972. This bill also helped expand this rights to all students with disabilities, regardless whether how severe of a disability they had or the cost of any services. This allowed parents to breathe a little, help them with their children, and hope that all services would, benefit their child in the system. These decisions laid the foundation for fairness, equity, and recognizing the worth of every student that was going to school or in any type of public school system. In 1975, Congress passed the Education for All Handicapped Children Act, which later became IDEA, Individuals with Disabilities Educational Act. IDEA transformed education basically by guaranteeing a free, appropriate public education, which is FAPE, individualized educational programs, IEPs, least restrictive environments, which means, your child could be with their peers, and parental participation and procedural safeguards. Um, all of these come into play when you have a child that is in special education, and it's right for parents to know about these types of acts so that when your child is in school, you can make sure that they're receiving all of the services that any other child would receive. Since including FATE and IEPs and IDEA, these updates have really strengthened the collaboration, the accountability, and student progress. One modern case that has raised expectations was Andrew F. versus Douglas County School District, which was in 2017. The Supreme Court ruled that students are entitled to a meaningful progress, not just minimal improvement. So that's basically stating that they want to see progress in these students. They don't want them to stay behind. They want to make sure that these students are successfully completing their goals, meeting the needs, meeting a goal that you and your teacher have designed for for your student. Um, it's a collaboration, not just for parents, but for teachers as well. This makes sure that everybody's on the same page and we all have the same purpose for our child's best interest. This also helps reinforce the commitment as an educator to set high expectations and provide individualized support so that our students can grow, thrive, and flourish in our school system and in our classrooms. As a parent that has had, both children on an IEP and a 504, um, we do play an essential part in our child's educational journey. Um, One major law that does help protect our rights is FERPA. This is the Family Educational Right and Privacy Act. This was enacted in 1974. FERPA ensures that we can review our child's educational records and that the school protects our family's confidentiality. So I know nobody's going to have access to my students' files unless they are, the teacher or the counselor, the therapist, anybody involved in my child's educational journey or his process. Um, Everybody has to be on the same page. Everybody has to be um, on the same plan, basically. So if, as long as they are on my student's plan, they will have access. But, if a random person came and said, hey, can I get this student's file? No, you cannot. That's exactly what FERPA has helped to do. It's helped to protect our privacy, your students' privacy, and the schools. Another important protection that we have is IDEA itself, which guarantees our rights to participate in all meetings. We have to provide consent. We have to receive written notice as well. And we have to resolve disagreements that mediation or due process. We're given we're given those options when it comes to our students' education. We have to know everything that's going on. They can't make any decisions without our approval. So it really does protect parents and our rights as parents to ensure that our students' best interest is at heart of everybody. Few resources that parents can use are ada.gov. It has current information for on disabilities, rights, and accessibilities. Another one is the U.S. Department of Education. It will break down all the laws, for IDEA. It has sections on 504 guidance if, parents need that. Another resource is, OSPI for Washington State. This covers, special education. It has offers, it's the Office of Superintendent, Public and Instruction. It has the guidance, procedural safeguards, and school resources. It, we also have PAVE, the Partnership for Action Voices for Empowerment, training and support for families navigating special education, as well as the Washington Office of Education. This helps with communication, conflict resolution, and any type of school concerns. Um, all of these organizations, they help support family advocacy and ensure that our child's information is being protected throughout his educational journey. And well, basically, that was my video. Sorry if I kind of babbled a lot. Um, I just want to thank you for your time, and I hope I was able to inform you a little bit on a couple of the laws. Um, Hopefully, you know a little more than you did before. If not, I apologize. I am hoping as a special education teacher, eventually I'll be able to serve your family and meet their needs with integrity, compassion, and professionalism. If you ever have any questions, concerns, you should really look up some of those resources or go to your school office and um, ask any questions that you may have. Try and get in contact with, any resources from your school district because they are always there to help and to make sure that your student is getting every type of service that they need possible with a parent or with a counselor or with a therapist, anybody. So thank you, and I hope you have a good day.